Hey, lovely. I don't know about you, but I feel like the silly season, the festive season, whatever you want to call this end of year period, seems to start earlier and earlier every year, and everyone goes into a bit of a tailspin. So I know you're busy. Thanks for listening in. I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but I wanted to give you some of my thoughts and tips on how to manage this silly season without starting the new year with a couple of extra centimeters around your waist or with a massive health and well-being task list in the new year. So my name's Anya. I'm a health and menopause educator. I'm a personal trainer, and I've been helping women navigate their health and well-being for years. So as I said, it's a busy time of year, but I'm going to challenge you to this year be a bit more intentional about how you move, how you eat, manage your stress, and just generally look after yourself. Because if you're in midlife, if you're a mum, if you're working, if you're a partner, all of these things pull us in various different directions, and we tend to put ourselves at the bottom of the to-do list. So that's your number one thing, is to actually think about yourself and to prioritize yourself this festive season. And that can look different for different people. So, whether that's getting up a little bit earlier so you have some time for yourself in the morning, whether it's prioritizing exercise, so making time every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes to move your body. If that's planning your meals. All right, so that's a big thing. With party season, food and alcohol often play a much bigger role in our lives. And I'm going to challenge you here a little bit and say this is actually one area where we do have a lot of choice and agency. It's our choice what we put in our mouth, what we drink, what we eat. And easier said than done sometimes, but here are my top tips on the food side of things. Have a plan. All right, if you're going to a party and you know that there are going to be lots of treat foods there or foods that you're wanting to eat less of, shall we say, plan ahead. Make sure you're not going hungry. Don't leave home on an empty stomach. If you can, take a platter, take a plate of crunchy vegetables and a healthier dip. Take something that you know you can eat without feeling too bad, without derailing your diet too much. Step away from the food. Actually remove yourself from temptation. When it comes to the alcohol, again, take your own drinks and have a plan. Think about how many drinks you're going to have. Think about having some water in between or something delicious in between that you can avoid the alcohol. And then think about only eating the things that you truly love. When there's that massive spread of food in front of you, it's really easy to just pick at things because they're there in front of you. But take a moment to think about the foods that you really, truly love, those soul foods. Have a bit of those and really enjoy and savor them. Eat them consciously. I think that's the thing. When we're chatting, when we're talking to people, it's really easy to eat and not be aware of what we've had. So eat mindfully, eat the foods you love. And if there's things there that you don't truly love, don't eat them. All right, try and remove yourself. Be conscious, be mindful of what you're eating, what you're putting in your mouth. Hydrate. All right, plenty of water. It's hot here in Australia. Make sure you've got plenty of water on board. It's going to help you manage your appetite. It's going to help you manage the alcoholic drinks. Be wary of cocktails. All right, they are calorie bombs. So if that is an issue for you, if that is something that you're trying to control, then beware and again, try and have some water in between. When it comes to going out with your friends, there's often that discussion about where should we go? What about this restaurant? What about that pub? Rather than going, oh, I don't mind, I'll go with the flow. Why don't you suggest somewhere that offers some healthier options? Chances are your friends are actually going to go, great idea. and actually appreciate having a healthier option as well. And that way you have a little bit more choice over what you're eating when you're going out. If you're having one of those meals where it's a bit of a share situation, I love doing those where everyone orders a little bit and you're sharing, then it is easy to overeat. Grab yourself a plate, have a little bit of the things that you love. Remember, eating the things you love. And then once you've finished that plate, try and push it away. Don't go back for seconds, because they never taste as good as they did the first time, and you probably don't need a second portion. So again, being mindful, being present, having a plan. All right, that's the key to success when it comes to managing your food, and then the exercise, which I'm going to talk about now. As a personal trainer, I'm all about the exercise, and I think it's a non-negotiable. All right, we need to move our bodies. Our days are longer at the moment in Australia, so try and get up a bit earlier. Or if that's not an option, maybe when you're going to work, get off your bus or your train, stop early, walk a little bit further to work. See if you can go for a walk at lunchtime. Can you have walking meetings? Can you have standing meetings? Try to drop little bits of exercise into your day. And again, plan for success. Let's make sure that, we're making those opportunities for ourselves, because as soon as we have a few successful days, that builds on itself. Okay, so really have that opportunity to move more. But chat a little bit more about setting some goals. Most of you will have heard of SMART goals. So they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, realistic, and they're time bound. So SMART. So be specific about what you're trying to achieve, and don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the new year. Your body needs to function well every day. So start now. But what I'm going to say, it's busy time of year, I know. Start now, but start small. Okay, let's make it specific and small. Let's make it a double S. Start with little changes. So if in the next year, let's say you want to be able to go on a long hike, or you want to be able to run a half marathon, or you just want to be generally fitter, whatever it is in a year's time, break that down into the month. What can you do in the next month? One small change. And then break that down into a week. So what does that look like in a week? Well, if you want to run a half marathon, for example, that means if you're not running now, maybe starting to do some walk runs around the block. Start small and start measurable and achievable. So what is that going to look like? Is that going to look like 2 or 3 times a week? Is it achievable for you? If you're not running at the moment, deciding to run for 10 minutes is probably not realistic. So do run walks, use the lampposts in your street, run for 30 seconds, walk for a minute, whatever it is, make it achievable. And don't overcommit. Don't say you're going to go every day, because chances are that's going to be hard to stick to. So thinking about saying, well, I'll try and do it 2 times, or I will do it 2 times this week. And if you do it 2 times, then tick, that's a success. And that success is going to build on itself. Then the next week you might want to run a little bit further, or run for a little bit longer. Whatever it is, make it achievable for where you're at. Make it realistic for where you're at. And then have a time frame on that. Okay, so this week I'm going to run 2 times, or this week I'm going to walk 4 times. And then measure it. Keep track of where you're going. Take 5 minutes in your day. So when you're sitting on the train in the morning on your way to work, open your notes app and think about what you did yesterday. Reflect on how yesterday went, and then think about today. What am I going to do today to work towards that goal that I have? All right, keep yourself accountable. This is the best way to keep that goal front of mind, so that when you know that tomorrow I've got the staff Christmas party, or tomorrow I've got the street party, or dinner with friends, whatever it is, you can go, okay, well, today I'm going to try and walk a little bit more, so that tomorrow when I have less opportunity, that's okay. I'm still achieving over my week. All right, finally, I just want to have a chat about school holidays, because a lot of us who still have children at school, you kind of go, oh, I'll start after the school holidays. Well, that's going to take 3 or 4 months out of your year. It's going to be very difficult to achieve any kind of momentum. So rather than blocking out those periods and putting yourself at the bottom of the to-do list again, try and slot in some exercise every day. And it doesn't have to be a formal gym class or, exercise session. It can be a walk around the block with the dogs. It can be catching up with your friends for a walk rather than just sitting and having a coffee. It can be walking that little bit extra to and from work, as I mentioned before. So there are little places where you can add in bits of exercise between meetings. Get up, roll your shoulders, stretch, jump on the spot, whatever it is that you can manage to do. Just try and do those little, sort of exercise snacks. When it comes to your food, plan. All right. If you know that you're going somewhere where the food choices aren't going to be optimal, for example, conferences, take your own food. Okay, it is perfectly possible. It takes a little bit of planning, but it is going to keep you on track. So again, use that time in your day to reflect, what have I got on today? What happened yesterday? How did I go? And think about what your weakness areas are. What's your Achilles heel? Is it snacking on the kids' food? Is it alcohol? Is it finding excuses not to exercise? Think about where your downfalls typically are and plan around those. All right. This takes a little bit of honesty. It takes a little bit of self-reflection. But if you can recognize that, I usually try and, I find a reason not to exercise. It's too hot. I'm too tired. I've got to do whatever it is for work. Whatever it is that your excuse point is, be a bit honest with yourself. Maybe, use a bit of tough love and go, okay, I don't really feel like it, but I'm still going to go for my walk. And chances are, within 5 or 10 minutes, you're going to have forgotten about those excuses and you're going to be feeling the benefits of the exercise. If food is your challenge, then think about planning. Again, have the better food choices available at home. Try and resist buying the temptations. If they're not there, then you're less likely to have them. If you can't avoid having those temptations at home, this is one of my favorite hacks, is to rearrange your pantry and your fridge so that when you open those pantry doors, or you walk into your pantry, or you open your fridge, the foods that are at eye level are the ones that you're going to reach for. Okay, so having the better options there, having veggie sticks ready to go, having, a Greek yogurt, having a high protein snack ready on that eye level shelf is going to make you more likely to reach for those. And then put the treats right up at the top if you're a shorty like me, or right down at the bottom if you're super tall and you don't want to be getting down to find them, or right at the back behind all the healthy choices, or freeze them. Whatever it is that works for you, just take a moment to reflect what your challenges are and how you can, sort of use that own psychology on yourself. And then remember that positive outcomes and positive results build, and that's where we get our motivation. So rather than going, oh, I'll do it when I feel like it, or I'll do it when I'm motivated, remember that motivation is fickle. All right, it tends to let us down in the moment when temptation presents itself. So rather than feeling motivated, just do it. Just do it. Don't have any excuses. Just go, this is what I want to achieve. This is what I'm going to do. And see how you go with that. But again, silly season, busy time of year, start small. What one little thing can you change today so that it takes you a step towards your long-term goal? All right, we have so many choices in our lives, and taking one little step towards our long-term goal, it's like if you think about a ship going off course, if this is the course it's trying to travel, if it goes 1 degree off course, doesn't make much difference right now, but that 1 degree goes further and further apart. And the same way, that one little change doesn't feel like a lot right now, but if you keep going and you have that consistency, that's going to build up and it's going to take you towards that long-term goal. So I'd be interested to know from you what it is that is your challenge and what it is that you're going to do to overcome that. So remember, SMART goals, be specific. Start small, we're going to say, for the silly season. Measurable, be accountable, measure your exercise. Use a food diary. Write down every single little thing you eat. I promise you it's going to make you think more about putting that piece of chocolate or cheese or chips or whatever it is, that extra alcoholic drink, on your plate and in your glass. So measurable. Achievable. Be realistic. Can you actually achieve what it is you're wanting to achieve within that time frame? Again, be realistic, and then have a time frame around it. This week, I am going to eat 1 extra vegetable a day. This week, I'm going to walk an extra 1,000 steps every 3 days. Whatever it is, have a time frame around it so that you can actually go, yes, I did that, or no, I didn't. And if you didn't, reflect on that. Was your goal overly optimistic or not? All right, I'd love to know more about how you go with that. Send me some feedback, and good luck, and enjoy the silly season. You know, it's fun here in Australia. The weather's gorgeous. Really enjoy it, but prioritize yourself. Put yourself first and say no to the things that you really don't want to do. And, you know, this way, when 2026 starts, you'll have achieved so much already. We've got 6 weeks to go until the end of the year. We can do a lot in that time. Just little changes every day. All right, take care.